The accordion didn't fall far from the tree out there in Verona. Little Fred Jr. was just 6 years old when his dad thought it would be a good idea to teach his fella how to follow in his musical footsteps. Fred was wrong. It was a great idea. So in 1978, when the little Schurz was just 8 years old, a band was formed. By then, the younger Schurz had told his mom that he didn't want to have the same first name as his dad anymore. She told him he could pick any name he wanted. He said, "Call me Fritz." And that's how Fritz's polka band came to be. Of course, as with all bands, it's more complicated than that. Ask Fritz today, and he'll tell you that all it took was for Gabe Vaccaro to go out and buy a bass guitar way back when for the band to be. No matter, 32 years later, through the very good times and the very hard times, Fritz's polka band is still playing more than 100 gigs a year. They played on the welcoming stage at Woodstock 99 in Rome. They played at B.B. King's and the China Club and the Metropolitan Club in Manhattan. Oh yeah, they played some picnics and barbecues and community events in between those. The first time I remember seeing Fritz's polka band, it was at the Heritage Farm out in Madison County, where Fred and Fritz and Gabe and mates were making the special needs adults and their families out there very happy. A couple of years later than that, I decided to write a story about them for the Post-Standard, and Fred said, "Come on out to the house in Verona." We clicked. I loved hearing about his dedication to the band and style of music. He loved hearing about how my dad was a drummer for a polka band down on Long Island when I was growing up. I knew right away how impressed I was with Fred. He wrote, he played, he put his heart into that band. Later I found out he was listening to me pretty good too. Fred and Fritz composed an instrumental they titled Bialzak's Polka. I was able to send a copy of their CD down to my dad, Frank, and hear the wonder in his voice about seeing that title on the cover of a polka CD. Lo and behold, Bialzak's Polka won a Just Plain Folks National Award for Fred and Fritz. Good deeds sometimes do get rewarded. That honor only added to the band's cachet. Fred was honored by the Cleveland-style Polka Hall of Fame. The band won Syracuse Area Music Awards. Last year, tragically, on November 14th, Fred Schurz passed away after a short but courageous battle with liver cancer. He played right to the end. I remember Fritz's happiness about Fred being able to join the band to tape a TV special in Buffalo, one of the very last gigs before he fell to the disease. Fritz was so heartbroken that he almost put an end to the band. But Fred had told his son, "Keep the music going." And those words of advice and encouragement won out. Now Fritz Schurz can call 2010 the busiest year to date for Fritz's polka band. With rock and roll drummer Mike Fareno in the fold, he came from the rock band Floating Noah in Utica. The band continues to deliver polka with an edge that's just plain fun. It's my honor to give due respect to Fritz Schurz, Gabe Vaccaro, Frank Nelson, Tom Campbell, and Mike Fareno as Fritz's Polka Band is inducted into the Syracuse Area Music Awards Hall of Fame.
Well, this is an awesome thing. You know, when I spoke at my dad's eulogy, I wanted to write some stuff down because I didn't want to leave anything out. My wife gave me some good advice. She said, just speak from the heart. You'll be okay. So I did that. Tonight I'm going to speak from the heart, but I also got a few cheat cards here in the interest of full disclosure. You know, when Liz contacted me, I got an email from her. We were down at the Dutchess County Fair doing a 5-night stand, and I just looked at it and I was like, oh. I ran to the phone, I called her, and I'm like, are you serious? Because I don't know if she and the committee realized what that meant. I got to tell you, it means a lot. And if any of you folks were at the SAMMYs last year when we won our first SAMMY award, at the time on the stage, Mike and myself were there, and little did I know, a few months later, my dad would be passing away because of cancer. And I remember that night when I got the SAMMY award, how thrilled we were first off. But I said, you know, I'll take a SAMMY over a Grammy any day, and that still stands, just for the record. Yeah, that's all right. Thank you, SAMMY. That's correct. Absolutely. So, I do want to thank the SAMMYs committee. I appreciate that very, very much from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank all the media, too, especially Mark Bielzak, Russ Tarby, and a lot of the other great folks that have covered my band over the years. Believe it or not, I've got a couple big, thick booklets that I've kept, articles. Just make a copy of them, keep them, tuck them away, and every now and then it's fun to look back and see how things were and see how things are now. So I appreciate what the media does for us. That means a lot. Our great fans, they're just really more like friends. I mean, when you got people that'll drive 3-4 hours and come in here, you make a little noise for a couple hours, that's pretty flattering. Our great sponsor, Jägermeister, best damn sponsor out there. Yeah, we ain't the only Polka band they sponsor, that's pretty special. And they treat us great, and I can't even begin to speak enough greatness about them because they make us feel really good. Our families in particular, my wife and 2 daughters, Kathy, Catherine, Marissa. How about standing up so people can see? Stand up and wave, don't be shy. They've been so great and supportive over the years, and although we're never a touring band that goes out for months on end, we do play a lot, like Mark alluded to, and it's a lot of time away from home, and I've missed some stuff, but they're always there by my side. That means a lot. And the guys right here in the band, Gabe, who's been there since the first gig when he got his bass guitar in the morning, and we had a gig that night. That was serious when we wrote that song. That was true. Tom Campbell joined the band. He's been phenomenal. Frank Nelson over there has been phenomenal. And of course, Mike Ferrano's been phenomenal. And you know, whenever I can go play music with those guys, it's a treat. I can't express it any other way. Over the years, over the 32 years we've been playing, there's been some musicians that have helped us out. And whether it was one gig or many, I want to mention their names too, because they were there to help us, and I do appreciate it. Larry Brown, Gus Burgoyes, Jerry Toffee, Scott Rutledge, Steve DeBella, Joe Furlow, Jerry Zizeko, Ed Wadomski, George Staley, and Rocco Dorsey, who's going to be moving to Nashville here in a few weeks. I also want to mention former members of my band too. A couple who have since passed away. Kevin Collins, our very first drummer. Charlie Wolfgang, Al Reber. We used to have a trumpet player way back in the 80s. Jim Swan, Doug Warner, Rick Cizek, who drummed for us for 24 years. And of course, I saved the best for last. I'm talking about my dad. And Mark mentioned he passed away after a brave, short battle with cancer. And he's the reason all this good stuff happens as far as I'm concerned. And although my dad couldn't be here tonight, I brought his accordion. And if you'll spare me a couple seconds here. And every musician, they got their favorite brand. My dad, this was it. There's only one downfall with the whole band not playing tonight. I don't have anybody to cover up my mistakes. So I'm going to do a brief rendition of one of the songs that he wrote, and I probably should have picked a simpler one, but what the heck, we're all friends, right? This is one that he wrote not long after I was born. This is called Fritz's Lendler. We don't play it that often, so hopefully it won't sound that way, though. Here we go. Thank you very much.